It's growth time, baby. So, new year, new you, new vision. Hey, what about a new leadership platform for you and your team? Well, today we're going to light that torch and blaze a path into great visionary leadership. And we're going to touch on three key things that'll help that torch burn brightly and just shine high in the sky for you and your team. So, whoo, man, 2021 is about to come to a close. And what is really exciting on my journey is this is 4 weeks away. Yes, 4 weeks away from completing my 2021 goal. And that was to build out a week by week, 52 weeks, almost a year newsletter journey through GrowthTime, which encompasses the 6 fundamentals growth zones of life and leadership, just with the aim to help you really unleash your best life, your best leadership, and reach your maximum potential. So just 4 more sessions away of that newsletter, and I'm there. And the second goal I had was to do 1 year of GrowthTime Live. Yeah, videos that would inspire, encourage, motivate, and coach you through so that you can live your best life, reach your potential, and just be that great 21st century leader. So I'm excited. Hopefully you're on track to hit your goals for 2021. If you're not, there's always 2022. So if you want to get connected still to those journeys, go to mygrowthtime.com, jump along, jump into your growth time in 2022 and just see awesome change and transformation. So look, when I think about the torch, I think about the Olympics and the Olympic Games. These athletes come together, world-class athletes, all to achieve their gold medal dreams. The teams come together, the countries. Look, they want to win. They want to be world-class. That's what you want. You want to be a world-class visionary leader. That's why you're still listening. So in that, when I think about that torch, what's amazing is the journey the flame goes through. And what's cool is in 1996, this is an unforgettable moment, the Olympics were in Atlanta, and that torch traveled from Los Angeles to Atlanta over 17,000 miles, crisscrossing, parading across America, and passed through nearly 13,000 people passing that torch. You know what was really cool too was for the first time ever, that torch went up into space. The Space Shuttle Columbia took that flame up into the universe, kind of lit that path. And I think that's really cool. And eventually ended up in the great Muhammad Ali's hands, and he lit the flame to start the journey. The games began. Yeah, you can't win that gold medal. You can't achieve unless the games begin. So I think about this analogy of the torch, and I think about in visionary leadership, you need a torch, and the torch is your values. There's much said in the Millennial Gen Z generation about how values are important, but we gotta start living it. We gotta start doing it. We gotta start showing up with values that actually put on display and shine bright for our teams. That's great visionary leadership. And we gotta be able to pass that torch, person by person, value by value, so we can light up that sky and light up the performance. All right, so the seed was planted. It was my college years. I went to college at Davidson College and played basketball under legendary coach Bob McKillop, and he's still there 30 years later, killing it. Well, hey, look, he planted a seed, and it was really between my freshman and sophomore years of college, I saw a tremendous shift in his leadership. And one of those things was he posted a torch, a code, 3 core values that would be this rallying cry to hold ourselves to a high standard and brighten that path on how we're going to win and achieve success. And it worked. For our team that was a downhill trodden program, we started to gain momentum, went to the NIT a couple years, came up short in the NCAAs, but we started a reemergence, and really his leadership did, of Davidson College basketball. And so that seed was planted, and as I got into leadership in my adult life, let's call it, man, I started using my own core values. I started living and breathing those core values. And yes, I just knocked over the microphone. But hey, look, you got to rally. You got to have adversity, and you got to get back to it. So look, I started using those core values, and I started putting them on display. And then something really cool happened. I started connecting the dots on how people wanted to be led by values and how they want shared values with a team to charge forward. So what do? We built core values. We built a visionary system. And what that looked like was pretty unique. I actually took a course of people through this, a group of people, leaders through it several months ago, and built a leadership platform, helped them establish a shared value system with the people they led, It was dynamic. Ownership went up, engagement went up, performance changed. And what I want to give you today really is 3 keys on how to create that torch, how to blaze that torch, and how to be that great visionary leader. Number 1, you got to light it. The flame's got to be lit. If you're not sure of your values, and not just you specifically, if you haven't defined your torch for your team, then how are they going to know what's going to blaze that path? How are they going to know to get in the games and go win that goal? So step 1, key number 1 is define your torch. How do you do it, coach? Really pretty simple. Gather your team together, huddle them up, let them know that you're on your quest to be a great visionary leader, and you're going to go through the core values to be that torch. Brainstorm, whiteboard, come up with values that are important to your team members. Work to align on 3 top core values that can be that torch. When they're participating in it, when they're involved with it, they're going to take ownership of it, and they're going to want to hold up to that standard. So number 1, define your values for your team, a shared value system. Number 2, look, what are you going to do with it? The torch has got to be passed. You can't just hold the torch. It's got to pass from person to person. So how do you do it? You got to speak to it. You got to coach to it. You got to change your thinking as a leader. If you're going to touch the millennial generation, if you're going to touch the Gen Zs, they got to see that you're living out your values. They got to hear that you're living out those values. And you got to bring them to life. Affirm people. Let them know when they've done a good job living out those values. Get them connected to that value system and the work and the grind they do each day. You're going to see things shift. You're going to be a great visionary leader. Number 3, hey, look, get close to that flame. If you get too close, you might get burned. So number 3 is don't get burned by the fire. And what I mean by that is use the value system to hold people accountable. Yeah, just grinding them for a task, grinding them for a goal, grinding numbers. Look, people fail, people come up short, they get disengaged. But here's the thing, no one wants to fail at their values. No one wants to go home at the end of the day and say they sucked. They didn't live up to their value system that they said they were going to go do. So that's the value of the shared value system. Talk to them about it. If they're not living up to that value of trust, or if they're not living up to that value of boldness or courage or strategic or confidence or whatever values you align on, bring it to their attention that that's not performing at the level of the value you shared with as a team and aligned on. So those are the 3 keys. You want to be that great visionary leader. You want to set a new path for 2022. Jump into this the first 30 days. See the shift in the culture of your team. Be that great leader that's going to inspire this millennial and Gen Z generation, and just get to it. Bring it. Bring your values. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take to be a great 21st century leader. Can't say that enough. So what are you waiting for? Go huddle your team, set the appointment, set it for January 3rd after the holiday weekend, and huddle that team together. Define 3 values that's going to define the next 30, 60 days for your team. Then look, start passing that torch as a leader. Stop grinding just on performance, tasks, and goals, and light that torch and let that blaze high in your values. Affirm people, and then hold them accountable to those values. All right, that's the message for Growth Time Live. I'm excited to finish up 2021. 2022 is going to be great. You're going to march and charge and be a visionary leader. Get connected to mygrowthtime.com. Get on that journey. 52 weeks, week by week, motivating you, inspiring you, and helping you be the best you can be in life and leadership. All right, what time is it? Well, you know what time it is. It is always growth time, baby.